have Calissa, our hostess with the mostest, hop on. Carrie, are we good?
We are good.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Calissa Knipe. I'm super excited to talk to you all tonight. I'm going to give a little bit of my story in a little bit. But first, we just have to take care of a little business real quick because I'm sure we're going to talk about coaching on this call just a little bit. I have to read a little disclaimer here. Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with Optavia. Hang on one second. Let me hit screen share. This is my first time doing this. Hang on, guys. I forgot to hit screen share. Okay, here we go. Success. All right. Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with Optavia results only from success of sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Your success will depend upon how well you exercise these qualities. Please see the income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches. And now I want to show y'all one of our clients' transformations. Her name is Lynette McNeil. She's one of our clients, and she has also become a health coach. And look at that transformation. Unbelievable. She rocked that dress at our Optavia convention this year. And we are going to let her share a little bit of her story, and then we'll continue with our presentation. Okay, Lynette, we're going to take you off mute.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm telling you, I'm so excited to share my story tonight, but I have to tell you first, I came to this program because of that sweet lady right there, the one who just introduced me. I came to this program because I saw one simple Facebook post, one that changed my life forever. And that, her sister-in-law posted some transformation pictures that she didn't even know about. And I was at a point where I was desperate to improve my health and just to improve my quality of life. I had already changed jobs, so I had removed the stress from my life, decreased it significantly, but my health was not where I wanted it to be. And I was desperate to become the kind of mom that I wanted for my son. My son was 6 at the time. And I did the things that we all did in everyday life, the day-to-day necessities of cooking and cleaning and carrying people here and there. But at the end, I would crash. I was depleted and I had nothing left. So that was why I was desperate for this program. I would just crash on the couch. I would go to bed. I wanted a better quality of life. So I started on this program July 1st, 2019, and lost 50 pounds in 5.5 months. And I have never looked back. My life is so different now. I'm telling you, that's why I say this program is life-changing, because I don't mind telling people how old I am. I love telling my age. I am 48 years old, but the reason I love to tell my age is because I don't feel 48 years old. I feel like I'm at least 35. I say not a day over 35, but it's all due to fat burn too, and my experience on plan. So that's why I say I love to share my story, because I tell people if I can do this, anybody can do it. And that's one reason I came to coaching, because I wanted everybody to feel this way. I remember that there was one particular story that came to mind when I was on plan. I was an educator. And so we were off the week of Thanksgiving, and the long weekend before, we had to go out of state for a Taekwondo tournament for my son. So, and as a side note, you can easily do this program while you're traveling. It takes a little bit of planning, but definitely easy and possible. But we had traveled for 3 days, came home. We were home that week, my son and I were. And so I said to my husband, what do you think about if I paint the dining room and if I paint the kitchen? And of course, he looks at me like, are you sure? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, because I still felt great even coming home from out of state. So he's like, yeah, just be careful, because it was just my son and myself here. And so we have these 13-foot ceilings in here. So I haul this big, tall ladder in. And for 3 days straight, I am going up and down that ladder. I'm painting trim, doing everything. And I felt great. I had that quality of life back that I wanted. The things that I wanted to do with my son before, I could do them. I didn't have to sit back and feel bad because I didn't have the energy to do it. And that's because of the science behind this program and fat burn. So I knew, even after doing that for 3 days, everybody from both sides of the family, they always come to our house for Thanksgiving. And I knew I was going to have to prepare for that too. But you know what? It was no big deal because I felt great. And it was all due to this program. You know, I was talking to somebody today, and she had just completed her first week on plan. And she said, and I thought this was so interesting that she said this today, and that's why I had to share it tonight. She said, you know, I used to have an energy drink every day before I started this program. She has not had an energy drink in a week. And she said, I can't believe how much energy I have. She has all that energy because of this program. She didn't need to go out and supplement it with something that was unhealthy for her body. Now, another side effect that I had was I was always cold. And I know a lot of people talk about that. I know a client this summer, she said, and I heard, Betsy, said it earlier, having a sweatshirt on during the summertime. And I'm so cold by nature anyway. So that one took a little getting used to, but talk about being so worth it. But I am such a nerd. I had to figure that out because so many people were asking me about it. Some people said, well, you know, you're losing fat, so you don't have as much insulation. And that may be true. But actually, you know, all of your macronutrients with this program, we know exactly what you're taking in. And so the amount of it, you know, the amount of heat, it takes a certain amount of calories to produce a certain amount of heat in your body. And so we're reducing the amount of calories that you're taking in, you know, and a calorie by definition is the amount of energy or the amount of heat it takes to raise the temperature of water 1 degree Celsius, 1 gram of water, 1 degree Celsius. So lowering the amount of calories, so lowering the amount of heat in your body made perfect sense. So my nerd brain was actually loving to figure that out, just because that's something that people talk about all the time. And when people tell me that, I'm like, girl, that you are, or sorry, don't mean to discriminate against the guys there, but you are in fat burn. That is where the magic happens. And so that is one thing that I love about this program. If you follow it, you know, so much is going to change, you know, having that quality of life back. I can't imagine, you know, not having found this program. I wish I had found it a long time ago, but I'm thankful that I found it when I did. And I am so excited for Calissa to really dig into this topic with you, because she's going to share more with you about the science behind fat burn and answer a lot of common questions that people have about fat burn. So I am really excited for you to hear that. And thank you so much for listening to my story tonight. One thing that I want to leave you with, though, you can do it. Stay in contact with your coach. Don't ever look back, and you can be successful as well. Thanks so much. Calissa?
Yay. Lynette, we love you. You're such an inspiration. Yes, my sister-in-law randomly shared a picture of me on social media, and all of a sudden we had a new client named Lynette, and she did amazing on plan, and she's helping so many people. It's really exciting. So yeah, who wants to learn about fat burn? We talk about it all the time. We see it on our client support pages. Everybody wants to know, understand it. I do want to point out that fat burn is specific to the 5-in-1 program. So you're going to be in fat burn if you're on the 5-in-1 program and you follow it. But first, I'm going to share my screen because we have a little slideshow, and you'll be able to see my transformation. Here it comes. Okay, so here's my picture. So that's me. I'm Calissa. I'm the bigger one in the before picture. That is also my wife, Hillary Duffy. She's my co-coach. We had a pretty big transformation, I have to say. We in April of 2018, I was on the verge of weight loss surgery. I was thinking about getting it done. I had a consultation about it, and I was really nervous about it. I'm in the healthcare field. I'm a nurse anesthetist, and I know the risks that come with surgeries. And I also knew the long-term success rate was not very high. So I was very hesitant to do it. Right around that same time, my really good friends posted on Facebook about their transformation. And I trust these people very much. They're both in the medical field, and I know that they would not do something that wasn't healthy. So I reached out to them, and they shared the program with me, and I jumped on board that day. And I am so thankful I did. In the following year, I lost 118 pounds, and Hillary lost 50 pounds in 5 months. She didn't even know she wanted to lose that much, and all of a sudden she was down 50 pounds. So we both are so thankful for how it's changed our health for the better, and we've gone on to help other people. And I really believe that this program has been the answer that I needed. It has changed my mindset around food. I have very strong food addiction, always have. And the books have helped me immensely. So I really encourage you to get into your books. But tonight we're going to talk about fat burn. Fat burn is what I stayed in for basically a year. I really, really focused on the program. And Hillary would be on this call, but she's monitoring these 5 little babies outside who tend to bark. So she's in charge of them outside, and I'm doing this call tonight by myself. But she says hello, and she loves you all. Okay, so first, I'm a science nerd, kind of like Lynette. I love science. And when Michelle and Carrie shared the program with me, they told me about the science behind fat burn. And that science, I kid you not, is what converted me to do the program. I believed in it. It made sense, meant intellectual sense to me, and that's what I needed. So let's talk about the human body for a minute, okay? We all have various fuel tanks that we use for energy, okay? The very first tank you're going to use is glucose. Glucose is another word for sugar, okay? This is the sugar that you take in when you eat food. So you take food in, it's sugar, it's glucose, you're going to use that for energy. Any sugar that you eat that you don't use right away, your body is going to store in a larger storage tank called glycogen. So glycogen is just a big word for stored sugar. Okay, you store a lot of glycogen in your body, so much that it takes 3 to 4 days of not adding to that storage tank for you to burn through it. So you have a lot of glycogen in your body, and that's what our bodies prefer to burn. Okay, I have a muscle over there. It's on the side over by itself, because our bodies do not prefer to burn muscle. Muscle is reserved for starvation mode. So when your body is not getting what it needs and is in a state of starvation, you're going to burn muscle instead of fat, because primitively fat is there for protection. It's for insulation. And your body is going to hang on to fat when it's in starvation mode. You're going to instead burn muscle because your body says to itself, well, I'm starving. I'm not going to exercise right now. I don't need my muscles. So I'm going to go ahead and burn those and hang on to my fat for protection. So we do not want to burn muscle. We are not a muscle burning program. We want to properly nourish our bodies. Now, what we do want to do on this program is we want to tap in to that. See that happy lady right there? We want to get into that fat tank, and we want to burn straight fat. That's a really powerful kind of weight loss. Now, in order to burn fat, 2 things must be true. One of them is that your glycogen tank must be depleted. Okay, remember I said glycogen is your preferred method of fuel. Your body's always going to burn glycogen first. So your glycogen tank has to be empty in order to go into fat burn. The second thing that must be true is that your body must be properly nourished. If your body is not properly nourished and you're in a state of starvation, you're going to burn muscle instead of fat. When your body is properly nourished, your body says, she's feeding me, she's giving me all the nutrients I need. I don't need to hang on to this fat for protection because she's giving me exactly what my body needs. And your body can safely move into that fat burn state. Okay, so those are your 4 tanks of fuel. Now, why does fat burn matter? So fat burn is our most efficient and effective weight loss. It encourages a toned appearance. So what that means is that fat is going to burn off your muscle. So you've got muscle, believe it or not, hiding under all that fat. And when you burn the fat off of it, all of a sudden your muscle shows up and you have muscle that you didn't know you had. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures at the end of this presentation of ways that Hillary and I both saw, whoa, muscles came out of nowhere. And so it gives you a nice toned appearance. The other way that fat burn is so wonderful is, like I said, you have to be properly nourished to be in fat burn. And on this program, the fuelings and the lean and green are all formulated to give you exactly the ratio of micro and macronutrients that your body needs to be properly nourished. That is what Dr. Anderson, Dr. Wayne Anderson is our doctor who helped create the program. And this is his science. This is the research that they did to figure out what needed to be done to keep people properly nourished and move into a safe, gentle state of fat burn. The last thing that I love to talk about, because everybody asks this question, is why doesn't my husband or my heavy friend need more fuel than I do? So when I started the program, I was 264 pounds and Hillary was 170 pounds. We both ate the exact same 5-in-1 program and we did great. We both felt great. We lost weight beautifully. It was great. So I'm going to show you a picture. That is Hillary's brother, my brother-in-law. Okay, see the big dude in the I Love Cheeseburger shirt. He weighed over 300 pounds and he did the 5-in-1 program just like all the rest of us. And he ended up losing 100 pounds and he felt amazing. He said, I can't believe I'm doing the 5-in-1 program just like every other person and I have the energy I have. And that's the science behind the program. He got everything his body needed, and any extra calories that Ryan needed or that I needed carrying 100 pounds more than Hillary, we just simply pull from our fat stores. So that's the beauty of fat burn. When you're in fat burn, you've got fat to pull from. So you're going to pull your energy from your fat stores. So that's a really common question that we get is, why doesn't my husband need more? And that's the simple answer. Okay, so let's talk about how you get into fat burn and stay in fat burn. I love this lady right here. She is walking on a balance beam, and fat burn really is like a balance beam. You're teetering between these two modes. And as long as you follow the 5-in-1 plan, you're going to be that little lady on the balance beam. Okay, how do you stay out of starvation mode? One of the ways that you're going to stay out of starvation mode is the timing of your eating. You're always going to eat your first fueling within an hour of waking up. That's going to teach your body that you're going to feed it. Your body needs to know that you're going to nourish it. So when your body starts to trust you and it knows she's going to feed me within an hour of waking up, your metabolism goes ahead and picks up for the day. The other thing is you're going to want to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. So try not to go past 3 hours without eating, because like I said, the fuelings are properly formulated to give you exactly what your body needs and nothing that it doesn't, to last for up to 3 hours at a basal metabolic rate. Okay. Another thing is you want to always eat 5 fuelings in 24 hours. If you get to the end of your day and you're exhausted and you want to go to bed and it's not time for your 5th fueling, go ahead and eat it early. Okay. We would rather you eat your 5th fueling early than not get 5 fuelings in a day. And then this is a really big one, guys. Weighing your lean and green meal. This is probably the thing that makes most people come out of fat burn. Okay. In your Optavia guide that you received in your first order, there's this page. See that? It says 3 categories of protein. You always want to weigh your food for your lean and green meal, because that's the science. We want to keep you from storing sugar and we want to keep you out of starvation mode. If you don't weigh your lean and green and you eat too little, you're going to be in starvation mode. You want to weigh your protein after it's cooked. You want to find that page and you want to look at which category your protein falls into. And you want to weigh the proper amount after your protein is cooked. Okay. Vegetables. Now you can do 1/2 cup or 1 cup, which it says on the next page, but an even more accurate way to stay in fat burn is to weigh your vegetables on a food scale. There is a chart that shows a conversion of measuring cups to weight so that you can be the most accurate. If you don't know where that chart is located, reach out to your coach. They can send it to you. Okay, it's a wonderful chart. We keep it right on our counter. And weighing your lean and green is going to ensure that you get just the right amount so that you don't go into starvation mode and you don't store any glycogen. Now, in accordance with the lean categories, you've got lean, leaner, and leanest. You also want to pay attention to your healthy fats. Sometimes you need a healthy fat, sometimes you don't. It just depends on which protein, and be sure to pay close attention to that. If you ever don't know, reach out to your coach, they'll help you. The last way that you can go into starvation mode, so this happens a lot. People are on the 5 and 1, they feel really good physically, they want to exercise. I feel so good. I want to get out there and exercise now. Okay, fat is not a great fuel for exercise. It does not release energy quickly. And when you're exercising hardcore, you need energy quickly. And that's what glucose is for. That's what glycogen is for. However, on the 5 and 1 plan, remember, you've depleted your glycogen stores. After 3 to 4 days on the 5 and 1 plan, you've burned through your glycogen stores and you've moved into a state of fat burn. So you really don't want to do hardcore cardio exercise. What I mean by that is sustained exercise with your heart rate elevated, sweating a lot, or you can't carry on a conversation while you're doing it. There are low impact exercises that are safe for the 5 and 1. Reach out to your coach if you want to do any of those, or people are welcome to share ideas in the chat for low impact exercises. But you really don't want to do hardcore cardio. You'll feel it. You'll know, because you don't feel very good when you try to do it. Okay, so we've got starvation mode covered. We're not going to go in starvation mode. How do we keep from storing glycogen? The short answer for this one, guys, don't eat or drink non-approved items. That's the answer. Okay, when you eat or drink non-approved items, you may think, why is my coach so strict? Why is this program so strict? We are not trying to be strict. We just want to give you the best experience. We want you to get to your goal as efficiently as possible, and we want you to feel really good physically while you get there. Okay, the way to do that is fat burn. When you eat or drink something that's not approved, the reason it's not approved is because it's got too much, probably carbohydrate in it, and it's going to put you into storing glycogen, and it's just going to impair your progress. Some of those non-approved items do include alcohol. It's a really common one that we all get asked. Your body does recognize alcohol as a toxin, and your liver will choose to metabolize it over anything else to get rid of it. So it will affect your fat burn, even if it's low in carbs. So just something to keep in mind. And then again, weighing your lean and green is so important, because we all think we have really smart eyeballs, but we don't. Our lean and greens are typically not very accurate unless we weigh them. If you accidentally eat too much, you could store some glycogen and it could take you out of fat burn. The last way is we have some optionals on the 5 and 1 plan. We have the 3 condiments and we have the 1 optional snack. All of those are up for grabs. The less often that you take the optional things and eat them, obviously the tighter of a fat burn you'll stay in, and you'll stay closer on that balance beam and be less likely to teeter off. That's not to say you can't have them, but just keep them in check and, don't go too crazy with them. So that's really how you stay in fat burn. If you do this program the way it's intended, you should be in a state of fat burn. A lot of people do like to know, how do I know I'm in fat burn? What are the symptoms? I want to know, I want to feel it. So let's go over the symptoms real quick. Most people notice, I would say just from anecdotally coaching experience, the hunger and cravings decreasing during fat burn is probably what I see the most. Across the board, people will notice during detox or when they eat off plan for a few days, they feel really hungry and have those cravings again. And then when they move back into fat burn, the hunger goes away. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have any hunger. It's normal to have hunger around the 2 to 2.5 hour mark. And that's just simply your body is learning to trust you and your metabolism is getting trained. And that's a really good thing. But you may feel hunger, but you shouldn't be starving. This program is not about starving. If you feel miserable or hungry or fatigued or tired or sluggish, please reach out to your coach, because you should not feel that way on our program. And we want to fix that. Okay. For some people, the 5 and 1 is not the best fit. So always reach out to your coach if you don't feel good. Another thing that a lot of people notice in fat burn is increased energy. I didn't personally notice this a whole lot. So I'm going to say it doesn't happen to everyone, but Hillary did. I mean, Hillary was cleaning the whole house in fat burn. Lynette was painting her whole house in fat burn. So you'll get a lot of people that feel energy and they love it. A lot of people notice deeper sleep. So I see this more with clients who have trouble sleeping prior to plan. All of a sudden, they don't need their sleeping meds anymore, or they wake up before their alarm went off. And the sleep that they got was really quality. So that's a really common, people talk about that. Another thing is, like Lynette said, a lot of people feel cold and fat burn. That's very common. Sometimes people feel hot. We have some people that get hot flashes. So you might feel that way, you may not. Another thing is you may have a funny taste in your mouth or have bad breath. I get bad breath. Isn't that lovely to know about me? Another thing that some people notice is needing deodorant. So when you burn fat, you actually burn it through your respiratory tract and your sweat glands. So that's why some people have a funny taste in their mouth. Some people have bad breath because they're breathing it out, and you may need more deodorant. And then the other thing is, I can feel it right now, is that you may have dry mouth. Even though you're drinking a ton of water, you may notice dry mouth. I hear that a lot from clients. Feel free to put in the chat if y'all have other symptoms that you notice in fat burn, but those would be, I would say, the most common that I've heard as a coach. We do have about 4 minutes, and I was hoping we would have a little time for questions, because I know fat burn can be kind of a sensitive topic for people, and they're really concerned whether they're in it. So, Michelle, I don't know if you've seen any questions in the chat that we need to answer or address. Let's see. Okay, oh, actually, great question, Bridget Mills. Let's talk about 0-calorie drinks. Okay, I like this topic because it's really easy to look at nutrition labels and see that it says 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and think that that means I can drink as much of it as I want. Okay, here's the trick. The FDA will approve something to say 0 carbohydrates as long as it has less than some amount. I don't know what that amount is. Okay, so if you take you take 10 drinks that have 0.0005 grams of carbs in them, but because they're under that threshold, they can put 0 on their nutrition label. Let's say you drink 10 of those a day, that's going to add up to carbohydrates. That's why those types of drinks are typically considered a condiment, even though they say 0. So we have a lot of clients that are like, I'm going to flavor all my water. The problem with that is that all those little minute things add up, and you might be, you could be affecting your fat burn. I can't say for sure, but you could be affecting your fat burn. The best thing you can drink is water. That's the best thing for your body, is pure water. Optavia as a company does have flavor enhancers on their website. And because Optavia knows for sure what they put in their flavor enhancers and that there truly is nothing else in them, they can count towards your water intake. All of the other brands, we just can't vouch for, whether they really are 0 everything. So that's a little tip about the Optavia flavor enhancers. I hope that answered your question, Bridget. I see someone else asked about water. Yep, Propel Pot, same thing, guys. So just think, when something says 0, but it's obviously got stuff in it, kind of keep your mind, have your red flag up a little bit, because